The relationships are becoming difficult to find and build. And on top of that, there is an onset of technology everywhere. Life has become so individualized. We're no longer meeting people in that general flow. Now we have to go online on a dating app, and very consciously put effort into finding a partner.
Matchmaking has become a process.
Yeah.
And in the process, connection kahin pe पीछे छूट गया.
I often, find myself asking my clients, are you with this person for who they are or for their potential?
Oh, for their potential.
For you're seeing them and you're like, this person has the potential to become ABC.
आपको उसकी feeling से कोई लेना देना नहीं है. You're not connecting to the person. You're connecting to a potential candidate.
Dating has become like a calculative process. There is so much noise because of all of this data available. We're picking up this data, we're constantly looking at people, and we are loving putting them in categories. And basis that deciding if this is the right partner for me or not. This relationship didn't work because we have our diagnosis ready, ABC. This relationship didn't work because this person lacked this. So now I need to engineer a person who, like you said, has this also and that also. And agar ye dono cheezein mujhe is partner mein mil jaye, so this is perfect. The bad news is that no matter how many appreciating partners you get and how much you find a partner who truly validates you, it's not going to change how you feel about yourself. When we're so scared of loneliness, when we're so scared that I'm lonely today, which means that I'm going to be lonely forever, which is such a rampant narrative, we rush into it. We want to quickly find someone today and we want to book this person for the rest of our lives.
No.
And in that rush, everything goes problematic. हम इंसान को बाद में जानते हैं, डेट करना पहले शुरू कर देते हैं. After being into a relationship with them for 6 months, 1 year, people book therapy sessions, come into therapy, and they go like, I don't know who I'm in a relationship with.
I don't know the person.
Yeah, I don't know them.
Yeah.
You know about someone not by the story that they have to tell from their own mouth, but by their actions.
Yeah.
Just because you like someone on the first date doesn't mean that this is the person you have to get married with.
Yeah.
It takes more than just liking someone to end up in a relationship with them. This is a big problem. People in relationships have become each other's therapists. Because of all the information available, we've picked up all of these words. Baby, you're being a little narcissist right now, you can't do that. And I think because your father was unavailable, no, that's why you're doing this to me.
शुरुआत में सारा attention आपका attraction ने ले लिया, तो real connection establish करने के लिए आप एक दूसरे को जानने की आपने कोशिश ही नहीं की. आप जानते रहे उनके आसपास की एसेट्स को, लाइबिलिटीज को, वो जानते रहे आपके आसपास के माहौल को और जिम्मेदारियों को. दोनों ने दरवाजे ही नहीं खोले एक दूसरे के लिए कि वो अंदर तक पहुंच पाए.
Absolutely.
तो आज रिलेशनशिप्स पर बात करने के लिए मेरे साथ हैं प्रणीत कौर, जो एक साइकोलॉजिस्ट हैं, एक रिलेशनशिप कोच हैं, रिलेशनशिप काउंसलर हैं. बहुत बहुत स्वागत है प्रणीत आपका कैंडिड विद शालीन में. क्या है इस दौर में बदला? क्यों हम रिलेशंस पहले जैसी नहीं रही?
I think primarily हमारी सोसाइटी बहुत बदलती जा रही है. उसका बहुत बड़ा रीज़न ये है कि सोसाइटी में बहुत कुछ डिसइंटीग्रेट हो रहा है. फैमिली सिस्टम्स डिसइंटीग्रेट हो रहे हैं, जेंडर रोल्स डिसइंटीग्रेट हो रहे हैं, द कॉन्सेप्ट ऑफ मैरिज इज गेटिंग डिसइंटीग्रेटेड. जब भी एक सोसाइटी एक स्ट्रक्चरल चेंज को अंडरगो करती है, तो उसकी जो फंडामेंटल यूनिट है, विच इज़ टू पीपल कमिंग टुगेदर, अ रिलेशनशिप, उसका नेचर भी बदलता है. एंड आई थिंक व्हाट इज़ हैपनिंग इज़ बिकॉज ऑफ दैट कि जैसे आज से 50 साल पहले या उससे भी पहले ग्रैंड पेरेंट्स वाले टाइम में आपके लिए पार्टनर को चुना जा रहा था, है ना. आपकी फैमिली के सिस्टम में से ही आपके दोस्त निकल रहे थे. सो योर असेंशियल इंटरेक्शन वाज हैपनिंग within your circle, within your family, extended family friends, and that was it. There was a great sense of tribal living, community living. So we were all very close-knit, we were all living together, experiencing life together, sharing things together. Now with all of this disintegrating, the life is becoming lonelier, the relationships are becoming difficult to find and build, and on top of that, there is an onset of technology everywhere. So because life has become so individualized, we're no longer meeting people in that general flow, like how people were chosen for you, or you were just continuously running into new people because you were just such a big community. Now we have to go online on a dating app, and very consciously put effort into finding a partner. Now when we do that, टेक्नोलॉजी के प्लेटफॉर्म पे, डेटिंग एप्स पर, you are essentially speaking to people behind a screen. तो आपकी जो उनसे पहली इंटरेक्शन है वो हो रही है that you're looking at their picture.
Yeah.
They've said a couple of things about themselves. They've answered a couple of questions. You've not even seen the person in person. You don't know how they talk. You don't know how they look. You don't know how their eyes look when they talk. You don't know their expression. There's so much that you can tell about a person just by physically looking at how they वो कैसे उठते बैठते हैं, बातचीत कैसे करते हैं, उनकी बॉडी लैंग्वेज क्या है. एंड दैट स्टेज कम्स मच लेटर. उससे पहले आप बहुत सारी बात कर लेते हैं ऑनलाइन, और आप ऑलरेडी गेज कर लेते हैं कि आपको डेट करना है, मिलना है, नहीं मिलना है. नाउ another thing that has made it very convenient in the dating language is that because everything is online, you don't have to be very accountable. You don't like talking to someone, you can immediately unmatch, as they say on dating apps.
और ब्लॉक कर सकते हो.
हाँ, आप immediately block कर सकते हो, आप immediately unfriend कर सकते हो लोगों को. तो वहां पर आपको किसी को कोई अकाउंटेबिलिटी नहीं देनी है. आपको किसी को नहीं बताना है कि दिस इज व्हाट आई एम फीलिंग, आई थिंक इट्स नॉट वर्किंग आउट, विच इज ऑल पार्ट ऑफ हैविंग अ डिफिकल्ट कॉन्वर्सेशन. वहां से आप रिलेशनशिप में इन द रियल सेंस इन्वेस्ट करते हो. तो जब आपको किसी को कुछ जवाब नहीं देना है, यू कैन जस्ट गेट अप एंड लीव. Accountability is going amiss from relationships, which is leaving us in a space where relationships have become convenient. That you interact as much as you want to interact. You feel like you're not vibing, you're not liking it, nothing. You don't have to do it gracefully. You don't have to invest in the person anymore. So you're coming in with convenience, you're moving out with convenience. People are fingertips away. You can talk to multiple people at a time. So अब क्योंकि people are getting ghosted at the drop of a hat, people are getting blocked in a second. When clients come to me and they talk to me about all of this anxiety around online dating, they primarily talk about, and especially a lot of men say this, that there is a lot of pressure on them to keep the conversation engaging on the dating apps, to keep it very like saucy and very crisp and very interesting. And a lot of my male clients say that, ma'am, we can't go to the dating app and say, hi, how are you doing to a girl? We can't do that. We have to come up with a very, smart
Unique
opening
way.
line. Exactly. It has to be unique. It has to be witty. Because that one, like how we say that first expression is like, it says everything about you. They're like, there is so much pressure to do that, right? Otherwise, the next time you open the app, you're blocked, or the person has ghosted you, and you don't even know it. So there is so much performance pressure in the very first conversation that you're going to have with the person.
Yeah.
So because of that, everything is constructed. There is no authentic expression. There is no slowness to the whole process, that you're sitting down, you're getting to meet each other, you're getting to know each other. Then slowly the conversation is formulating. सब कुछ पहले से constructed है, सब कुछ calculated है. तो हम एक mask पहनकर, एक witty, smart, हर इंसान हर वक्त witty और smart और humorous नहीं हो सकता. But हमें constantly वो mask on रखना है और जाके एक performance देना है, क्योंकि इतना सारा option है. और अगर आप उसमें से best candidate होगे, तो आपको थोड़ा सा attention span मिल जाएगा, नहीं तो you're out.
Right.
So it's become a race.
Yeah. So in a way, टेक्नोलॉजी ने हमारे सामने बहुत सारे थ्रेड्स रख लिए. एक, मल्टीपल ऑप्शंस हैं, सो वन हैज टू प्रूव योरसेल्फ. देन देयर इज अनदर फिनोमेना कि आप कभी भी किसी को ब्लॉक कर सकते हो, किसी को अनसिंक कर सकते हो, किसी को कॉन्वर्सेशन खत्म कर सकते हो, गोस्ट कर सकते हो इन द मोस्ट रिसेंट टर्म. सो आपको उसकी फीलिंग से कोई लेना देना नहीं है. यू नॉट कनेक्टिंग टू द पर्सन, यू कनेक्टिंग टू अ पोटेंशियल कैंडिडेट. Yeah, so it's like your race to the candidate. It's not about the person. It's not about you either.
Yeah.
It's not about the emotions. It's about a process. Matchmaking has become a process.
Yeah.
And in the process, कनेक्शन कहीं पे से पीछे छूट गया है एंड एवरीथिंग हैज बिकम मैकेनिकल, सो मैकेनिकल दैट लाइक सोशल मीडिया एल्गोरिथम्स के बारे में हो गया, इट हैज ऑल्सो बिकम लाइक एल्गोरिथम। सो नाउ अब करें क्या, इससे बाहर कैसे निकलें? सो इफ सपोज पॉइंटर्स रख के आपको समझाना हो यंग जनरेशन को कि रिलेशनशिप बनाते हुए, खासतौर पर डेटिंग एप्स की, क्योंकि हमने जिक्र किया, डेटिंग एप्स पे रिलेशनशिप्स को अच्छे इन्वेस्ट करना है, अच्छा इन्वेस्टमेंट रखना है, रिलेशनशिप्स को समझना है डेटिंग एप्स के थ्रू, तो किन चीज़ों का ध्यान रखें?
राइट,
लाइक पॉइंटर्स इफ यू वांट टू सजेस्ट।
राइट। सी, अभी हमने बात किया कि how it's problematic, how it's adding to the stress and anxiety, but now we also have to look at the good part of dating apps, which is in a world that has become so disconnected, nobody's like when you're out of school and college, how are you meeting people? Essentially at work, or when you go out for events or something, that's how you run into people. The world has become online. We're barely getting out of our houses. We work from home. We attend gigs, music gigs also at home, online, on Zoom, right? So it's a wonderful opportunity to meet people across the world with the comfort, by being in the comfort of your home. We cannot ignore that. And I think with the way that world is changing, it is going to become more isolating, for sure. Everything is, with the advent of technology and AI, we are going to get all of the comfort at home. We are going to have to put conscious effort in meeting people platonically or romantically. So that way, online dating apps are a great help. Like, I'm not against them. Now, it's about how are we as a user experiencing the app. Someone who is at the receiving end of it or at the giving end of it on the dating apps, one key thing that we can begin with is that I want to walk into it keeping in mind the idea that dating is only healthy when it is slow.
It's slow.
When it's slow.
So slow is the only fastest route.
Yes. Yes. In fact, we're not aiming for fast at all.
Yeah.
When we're so scared of loneliness, when we're so scared that I'm lonely today, which means that I'm going to be lonely forever, which is such a rampant narrative, we rush into it. We want to quickly find someone today and we want to book this person for the rest of our lives.
Yeah.
And in that rush, everything goes problematic. We miss out on all the red flags.
Yeah.
And हम इंसान को बाद में जानते हैं, डेट करना पहले शुरू कर देते हैं. After being into a relationship with them for 6 months, 1 year, people book therapy sessions, come into therapy, and they go like, I don't know who I'm in a relationship with.
I don't know the person.
Yeah, I don't know them. Yeah. I thought this person was someone else when I started dating them, and now there's someone else.
Yeah.
So go.
That's a very common
slow.
phenomenon.
Yeah. Absolutely. The only way to sort of work around this is that go absolutely slow. Make sure that you've spent a considerable amount of time in getting to know someone, and that takes time. Here's what happens. We try to hack that as well. That let's sit down for a cup of coffee. The cup of coffee is going to turn into a lunch. Lunch is going to turn into a dinner. Dinner is going to turn into a home date. And in that one day, tell me all about your life. I will tell you all about my life. You tell me about your traumas. I will tell you about my traumas. Oh my God, you also have father issues. I also have father issues. We're made for each other. तो वो एक दिन में शॉर्टकट में हमने एक दूसरे की लाइफ की सारी हिस्ट्री जान ली, and now we've become soulmates. From that one coffee date to soulmates in less than 24 hours. Just knowing about someone, knowing their life story is not about knowing the person.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know about someone not by the story that they have to tell from their own mouth, but by their actions.
Actions.
Right?
Most important.
वो कैसे interact करते हैं आपके साथ, दुनिया के साथ. छोटी छोटी चीजें जैसे कि वो अपने काम और आपके बीच में कैसे navigate कर रहे हैं.
Yeah.
वो कितना promptly आपके साथ interact करते हैं. आप लोगों के communication में कितना gap है. The whole stress and anxiety around मैंने 2 मिनट के बाद रिप्लाई कर दिया और सामने वाले ने 15 मिनट के बाद रिप्लाई किया. अब उनका 10 मिनट बाद रिप्लाई आया है तो मैं भी 10 मिनट बाद करूंगी. अब उनका आधे घंटे बाद रिप्लाई आया है तो मैं 40 मिनट से पहले तो नहीं करने वाली हूँ. Like it's very calculative, right? So we want to slow down and we want to let the person unfold in front of us.
Yeah.
Just because you like someone on the first date doesn't mean that this is the person you have to get married with.
Yeah.
It takes more than just liking someone
Hmm.
to end up in a relationship with them. The second thing that I'd say is be very clear about what are your negotiables and non-negotiables in a relationship.
In your head, at least.
Yeah.
Before you will
Yeah.
speak to the person.
Absolutely. If you'll speak it to the person, I mean, one can just sort of pretend that, yeah, I'm on the same page, you know. It's not for the other person to find out. It's an information that is to be kept in your mind for yourself.
Hmm.
When we walk into dating without knowing what is it that we're even looking for, think about it like this. Go to a grocery store.
Hmm.
And there's a famous saying, right? Never go to a grocery store hungry.
Hmm.
We're hungry for a relationship because we're tired of being alone.
Yeah.
We want it today and we want it and we want it for the rest of our lives. We're desperate. Now we go out into this field, into this market of people, right, where everyone is available, everyone is equally in rush, and we've narrowed down to this one person. We're talking to them, and now whatever is coming with them, I am welcoming all of it. And I've very conveniently closed my eyes and I've put the glasses of love, forever living happily ever after sort of a thing. And I'm overlooking everything that I do find problematic. I am justifying their behavior at this point. For example, one of your non-negotiables is that I want someone who doesn't have anger issues, for example. A lot of women talk about this. When they have seen anger, domestic violence between their parents, you know, fights, all of that, they walk into the dating space being like, I want someone who is even tempered, right? So let's say you've starting with nobody is going to get angry with you, right? So one, you're not slow, the first point. Second, you've very quickly established this is what the person is. Now you're still knowing about the person, but you've already committed. So let's say you see the first episode of their anger. Now you know their trauma history, you know where they're coming from. At this point, you are using all of their trauma to justify their behavior, and you're telling yourself that this works, it's okay. एक ही बार की तो बात है, चलता है, ऐसे हो जाता है, मुझे नहीं गुस्सा आता, सबको आता है, this is fine. So the moment you get biased about that person, you start looking at everything from that lens of biasness, forgetting that this is something that was my non-negotiable. Sometimes we don't even establish that for ourselves. So the most important thing is knowing what are the things. For example, one of your parameter of finding a partner is that someone who is from so and so profession, but you can put it under the list of this is negotiable. Like, even if this doesn't happen, this works for me. But my non-negotiable is that they're emotionally available. If they're not emotionally available, what am I going to do with their good looks and their profession?
Yeah.
You know, your non-negotiable can be that them and me were both on the same page when it comes to what kind of a commitment we want. Do we want to be in a short-term relationship? Do we want to be in a long-term relationship? Do we eventually want to get married? Do we both want to have kids or not? Are we both okay with, let's say, being in a relationship if we're from different faiths, you know, if we're from different financial backgrounds? All of these are genuine practical concerns, and you need to first have it sorted out for yourself. Third thing that I'll say to keep in mind is show up authentically. Be authentic and ask for authenticity. And that can only happen when you'll keep the first two things in mind, when you know what your negotiables and non-negotiables are, and you're going slowly.
Yeah.
That's the only way that you'll know कि वो starting वाला जो था वो सारा made up था, जो सबका होता है. Like, everyone tries to put out their, you know, best face forward, and then eventually things slow down and the honeymoon phase fades away, and now it's the person who with all of their flaws, which we all have, all of their imperfections, and now you have to see that does this person's imperfections work for me?
Yeah.
And for that you have to show your imperfections so that you open a space for them to show theirs, and now you're both interacting with what both of you really are and not a made up version of you.
Yeah. But in the entire process, what seems to be more important is that how do you connect with yourself? How self-aware you are.
Yeah.
Because आपको अपने बारे में नहीं पता. Suppose let's give an example of a color.
Hmm.
From inside, I'm blue. Huh? And I'm trying to pretend to be red.
Hmm.
So all I'm doing is attracting someone who likes red,
Hmm.
because the person will not be able to understand that from inside I'm blue.
Yeah.
तो जिसको वो पसंद कर रहे हैं वो तो कोई दूसरा कलर था.
Hmm.
So how do I become authentic,
Hmm.
realize what self-awareness is,
Hmm.
and earns that self-worth कि मेरा true color मेरे को बाहर रखते हुए stress ना हो. I don't undermine myself to an extent कि मुझे किसी दूसरे के कपड़ों में खुद को ढकना पड़े.
That's a great question, actually. Let's decode the color language to a real example, and let's go forward with that. For example, person A has walked into a heterosexual relationship. Okay, this is a woman putting herself out there with a man, and the man is emotionally unavailable, right? They're sometimes showing up, sometimes not. But every time that they are not showing up, they're coming back and apologizing that, so sorry, you were waiting for my call, couldn't come, so sorry, we had to meet today, can't happen. And the woman is again wearing that red, as you said, by saying, of course, I don't care, it doesn't
Yeah.
matter. Maybe because she has been shamed for being too demanding, being too much,
Yeah.
being, too sensitive in her past relationship or since her childhood growing up. So now she's not comfortable being the blue that she is, meaning that she has emotional needs. She wants more availability. She wants someone who is, I'm not saying available 24/7, of course, that's problematic, but is showing up in the relationship as much as she is. Now, if she is not comfortable with her own demands, with her own needs, if she calls herself needy, if she calls herself desperate, as she has been labeled by the society and perhaps by her experiences beforehand. And I'm particularly talking about this because this is a big problem. Women in our society carry a lot of shame and stigma around having emotional needs because we live in a society that shames sensitivity, that shames having emotional needs, wanting more availability, feeling a lot of emotions, crying, etc. And because women are more capable of vulnerability simply by the virtue of how men and women are both raised in our society, uh, their vulnerability carries with it a lot of shame. So, what does this tell us? It tells us that we refuse our blue, our authenticity, and we wear a red or the fabric that the society accepts or this person perhaps is going to accept because I don't like my blue.
Yeah.
Because I am not able to accept myself because I think that part of me is problematic.
It's problematic.
So I don't want to show that part to anyone. Why would I? If I can't accept that part, I know that you wouldn't either. And it has nothing to do with whether or not you will. I don't even know that yet.
Yeah.
So let's say 1 महीना ये कर लिया, 2 महीना, 3 महीना, 6 महीना. 6 months down the line, you'd get frustrated for all of those piled up emotions that you've not expressed. At this point, you'd be like, I can't do this. You're not there for me, and you'll explode.
Yeah.
Now your partner would be like, what happened? Abhi tak to sab theek tha. Why is this not working for you suddenly anymore? I can't do this. By this time, you've gotten attached and all of that. So now you're chasing the person.
Okay.
तो अगर हम इसको स्टार्टिंग में एक्सपोज कर देते दैट आई एम सॉरी दिस इज नॉट गोना वर्क फॉर मी एंड द पर्सन वुड हैव रिटेलिएटेड, you would have saved yourself a lot of time and energy and your precious emotions, before investing in someone who wouldn't have worked for you.
So in a way, more self-connected you are, more authentic you are, you're likely to attract right partner, and the duration of your relationship is going to last longer.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. But it's not just about being self-aware. A lot of women, there is a lot of information available. Never before have we had social media talk so much about self-awareness, self-love, emotional availability, all of that, right? There are more therapists on Instagram than
Plethora of
there are.
information.
Yes, absolutely, right? Never ending. So it's also helpful in the ways that a lot of us are finally able to have these conversations of emotional availability,
Yeah.
like literally everywhere. It's happening in the corridors of college, and when you're stepping out for a walk, like it's a part of every young person's conversation, and I think it's important. I think it has its own perks. Now, you are aware that I have needs and I'm sensitive and all of that, but you don't like that about yourself nonetheless. There is a lot of critical dialogue
Happening inside you.
yeah, continuously. There is a lot of in-depth shame. And where is that shame coming from? We're not born with shame from our mother's womb, right? It's societal, it's cultural. We pick it up, it's put on us. Now, a lot of times, we're like, oh, so our parents are to be blamed. Great. You know, we're not blaming anyone. Everyone is part of the same system, and everyone has been shamed and traumatized. Everyone has taken the brunt of living in a society that is not compassionate and trauma informed.
Yeah.
So, but what has happened is that because we're in this system, we all are the victims of it. Our parents, their parents, us. So now that we have become adults, we're no longer children who were helpless and couldn't protect themselves. Now we're adults, we're grown up. Now when we see this critical dialogue in us, now when we see that there are parts of me that are not able to accept parts of myself. But if I have a friend who comes in front of me and she says in front of me, I think I'm too much. I think I am only problematic. The guy is just fine. Look at us. Look at what we say to our best friends as women. Do not say that about yourself. You're the best girl out there. So what? You're asking for the right thing. Do not apologize for what you want. Which means that we're capable of it. We know that it's not problematic to have needs. We know that it's actually a gift to be sensitive. We're capable of saying that to our best friends, to the people we love. We're just not capable of turning that inward. So there needs to be more self-work, healing work around that.
Yeah.
How do I speak to myself compassionately? The more I'm able to accept parts of me that I've always not liked, the more likely I am to choose partners from a place of empowerment.
Yeah, that's so important.
Yeah.
And not to fall for attraction,
Yeah.
but connection.
Yeah, absolutely. Attraction and spark is just something that happens very quickly. It's momentary. It's going to happen right now. It's going to stay for as long as the honeymoon period is alive. And then the reality hits, and you're like, I'm stuck now. I don't know what to do.
Because you touched upon that part, I feel there are many boys in particular, having suppressed needs,
Yeah.
suppressed emotions. क्योंकि मेल को तो बात करनी नहीं है, मेल तो वीक मान लिया जाएगा यदि वो सेंसिटिव बात कर लेगा, इमोशनल डिमांड्स रखेगा या इमोशनल मालूम पड़ गया तो फिर उसके साथ कोई देगा ही नहीं. तो देयर इज सो मच इनसाइड एंड ही वांट्स टू कंडक्ट हिमसेल्फ एज समवन जिसने पूरी तरीके से कॉर्पोरेट अपना हुलिया काम करने के बाद कॉर्पोरेट बन चुका है. यू आर गोइंग टू मीट अ फ्रेंड. आप उस व्यक्ति के अंदर एक इंसान ढूंढ रहे थे, एक दोस्त ढूंढ रहे थे, लेकिन वहां तो वो एक एग्जीक्यूटिव की तरह परफॉर्म कर रहा है. इज ट्राइंग टू बी द मैन, इज ट्राइंग टू बी द पर्सन जिसको फर्क नहीं पड़ता उसके बारे में लोग क्या सोचते हैं, उसके बारे में क्या हो रहा है, उसकी जिंदगी में कितने लोग आए कितने लोग गए. It doesn't give a damn to it.
Yeah.
So that man who is powerful, not empowered internally, but powerful from outside. उसके पास कितने पैसे हैं, कितने बंगले हैं, कितने गाड़ियां हैं, आप ये देख रहे हो. आपका सारा अटेंशन उसकी बाहर की एसेट्स पे है. इंटरनली उसके पास क्या एसेट्स हैं वो ना कभी आपने सोचा, ना कभी कॉन्वर्सेशन का हिस्सा बना. और जैसे आपने कहा कि शुरुआत में सारा अटेंशन आपका अट्रैक्शन ने ले लिया, तो रियल कनेक्शन एस्टेब्लिश करने के लिए आप एक दूसरे को जानने की आपने कोशिश ही नहीं की. आप जानते रहे उनके परिवार को, वो जानते रहे आपके परिवार को. आप जानते रहे उनके आसपास की एसेट्स को, लाइबिलिटीज़ को, और वो जानते रहे आपके आसपास के माहौल को और जिम्मेदारियों को. दोनों ने दरवाजे ही नहीं खोले एक दूसरे के लिए कि वो अंदर तक पहुंच पाए.
Absolutely.
सो बट हाउ डू वी डील विद इट? इवन मेरे को मान लीजिए कि हमें समझ में आता है कि And now this person is operating from, say, a past trauma.
Hmm.
I'm into that relationship. Suppose करिए कि मेरे को मालूम पड़ रहा है कि now this person is behaving because he might have undergone something similar.
Yeah.
Or he's operating from the past, or she's operating from
Yeah.
a past. How do I deal with it? How do I make the other person understand that you need to do some healing work with yourself without offending the person, without sounding to be critic? और कई बार बहुत अर्ली फेज में आपको इसको एड्रेस करना पड़ता है बिकॉज यू फाइंड द अदर पर्सन टू बी अ वेरी पोटेंशियल कैंडिडेट और पोटेंशियल पार्टनर, बट आप वो कॉन्वर्सेशन नहीं शुरू करवाते. मे बी शायद आप तैयार हो उस कॉन्वर्सेशन को करने के लिए, लेकिन सामने वाला सुनने के लिए तैयार नहीं है. तो हाउ डू यू स्टार्ट विद इट?
This is a very good question. I'm going to pick up on this word that you mentioned, potential partner, right? Potential candidate. I often, find myself asking my clients, are you with this person for who they are or
Yeah.
for their potential?
Oh, for their potential.
For you're seeing them and you're like, this person has the potential to become ABC.
Yeah.
So are you in love with their potential or who they are today?
Okay.
Everyone has potential. We all do. We all are capable of reaching like at the fullest of our potential. It is not the responsibility of the partner to push you, to take you on that journey if you are not willing to walk that journey.
Yeah.
We need to come out of this fixing syndrome that we're carrying. Men have become rescuers, women have become fixers, and we all spend a great amount of time in relationships with each other trying to do this. Let me fix you and make you into the partner that I would like to be with. You are not here to construct a person.
Yeah. Yeah.
That tells us that first of all, I am not in love with who they are today.
Right now.
So I always ask my clients that let's say they can change. There's great potential of change. They also talk about changing, they are aware, वो सब सही words use करते हैं, उसके बारे में बात करते हैं. कुछ हुआ नहीं है अभी, कुछ change होना शुरू नहीं हुआ है, but बात कर रहे हैं तो scope है, ठीक है. आज वो जो इंसान है, उनका जो भी स्कोप है उसको साइड पे रख दो. वो जिन जिन तरीकों से बदल सकते हैं उसको साइड पे रख दो. जहाँ जहाँ भी उन्हें बदलने की ज़रूरत है उसे साइड पे रख दो. आज वो जो इंसान है, क्या आपको वो इंसान कबूल है? कि आप उस इंसान को पसंद करते हो जो वो आज है? Are you able to truly appreciate the person that they are today? Are you able to accept the person?
Are you able
that
to
they
live
are?
with the faults he or she has?
Yeah. If you are able to, if that works for you, growth only happens after you are accepted in a relationship.
Yeah. Very important.
If you're both accepting each other, it's going to happen. It's inevitable. People grow together.
Yeah.
There is a huge difference in let me fix you and help you in becoming your fullest potential, reaching your fullest potential, and both of us coming together, loving, creating a loving, caring, accepting environment where we don't have to work towards like, this is not how relationships work. एक goal set कर लेते उसको achieve करेंगे. This is not corporate. This is not race.
Yeah.
Relationships are not to be structured like that. It's organically, it happens so that you then start growing together. You inspire that sort of a growth in each other. So the only way one can grow or change in a relationship is through inspiration, not through coaxing, not through me wanting to fix you, push you. So if you are someone who is seeing that your partner is doing whatever that they're doing because of ABC trauma, not your responsibility. You're not their therapist that you need to know ye kahan se aa raha hai and then find connections and make dots and do all of this analysis. And this is a big problem. People in relationships have become each other's therapists because of all the information available. We've picked up all of these words. Baby, you're being a little narcissist right now. You can't do that. And I think because your father was unavailable, no, that's why you're doing this to me.
Right.
Because, you never had your father to take care of you. Now you're depending on me. You want me to rescue you as your man.
Yeah.
So we don't need to do all of this analysis.
Of course.
We need to talk like humans. Tell your partner that I'm not okay with you constantly depending on me and not having your individual identity. I'm not okay with the way you are emotionally unavailable to me. And you will only know that when you have your negotiables, non-negotiables sorted out,
Sorted out.
you will be able to assertively put that forward. I am not okay with this, and leave it to that person if they want to make this relationship work, which relationships are constant work. We're constantly going to grow. Give them your feedback, tell them how you're feeling, show them your anger, don't try to be so zen about it. Let all of those emotions out and then let them take care of it. It's their responsibility. आपकी प्रॉब्लम भी आप ही बताओगे और फिर फिक्स भी आप ही बताओगे कैसे करना है. That's not a fair deal.
Yeah, yeah. And I think एक कपल के लिए वो टाइम जिसमें वो बात कर सकें अपने बारे में, बिकॉज इतना रश है हमारी लाइफ में कि हमने वो डेट डिसाइड की है, वहां पे ये पता हमें कि कहाँ जाना है, क्या खाना है, क्या पहनना है, सब कुछ सॉर्टेड है, पर इस बार क्या बात करनी है, हम कौन से फेज में हैं रिलेशनशिप के, और क्या ऐसी चीजें हैं जो आपके लिए बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट हैं, क्या वो आपने लिखी हैं अपने जहन में ही हो, क्या आपके दिमाग में क्लियर है कि आज आप क्या बात करने वाले हो. यदि आपके कुछ डिफरेंसेस थे भी, क्या आप उनको सॉर्ट करने के लिए बात करने के लिए तैयार हो, क्या आप वो टाइम स्पेंड करते हो, क्या आपका बॉन्डिंग इनिशियली भी आपका बॉन्डिंग वहां तक पहुंचा है कि आप एक दूसरे की बात को सुन सको, आप अपनी बात कह सको और दूसरे की बात सुन सको. सुनना कहना भी एक पार्टनरशिप में जैसा होना चाहिए ना, वैसा नहीं हो रहा है. व्हाट इज द प्रॉब्लम? आर वी सो मच इन्फ्लुएंस्ड बाय बॉलीवुड और समथिंग, और we don't really know how to open up?
I think it's both.
Okay.
It's the fact that we ourselves don't individually live that kind of a life where we come back, sit with ourselves at the end of our busy day, and we just evaluate for ourselves. Where am I heading? How am I feeling? What's troubling me? ये जो मेरे बाल झड़ रहे हैं, ये क्यों झड़ रहे हैं? ये जो मेरा वेट बढ़ रहा है या कम हो रहा है, ये क्यों हो रहा है? ये जो मुझे रात को नींद नहीं आती, ये क्यों हो रहा है ना? We're just popping pills and carrying on. We're not stopping and evaluating our own lives. It has become very fast-paced. We've been taken over by capitalism and hustle culture. We all want to reach somewhere. It's constantly about that goal.
Yeah.
It's that place. It's never about where are you today.
Right.
It's not about that 24 hours. So I think just the fact that we're not living a mindful life as individuals, we're not living a mindful life as a couple as well.
Yeah.
There are a lot of distractions, obviously. There is social media built in a way which is so addictive.
Yeah.
There is a lot that is being said and done about it, that it is designed in a way that it's addictive. It's going to keep you hooked.
Engaged.
Right? It's going to happen. There is plethora of information online. People are having like information exhaustion 24/7. There is going here, reading something on Reddit, social media पे कुछ conversations हो रहे हैं. We're constantly engaged in intellectual conversations, arguments happening online. There are a lot of options. People are just a fingertips away. You're in the relationship, but one leg in, one leg out. Sure, there are a lot of distractions. अभी वक्त बदल गया है, टेक्नोलॉजी आ गई है, तो अलग तरीके के डिस्ट्रैक्शंस है. पहले वक्त और था तो अलग तरीके के डिस्ट्रैक्शंस थे. डिस्ट्रैक्शंस हमारी दुनिया में हमेशा रहे हैं और हमेशा रहेंगे. इंसान की फितरत है, हम बहुत जल्दी बोर हो जाते हैं, हम बहुत जल्दी दूसरी चीज़ के ऊपर हाथ डालना चाहते हैं. जो ये नॉर्मल हो गया, इसको एंजॉय कर लिया, इसको एक्सपेरिमेंट कर लिया है, ठीक है, अब मज़ा नहीं आ रहा लाइफ में, हमें कांस्टेंट डोपामिन हिट चाहिए. और क्योंकि अब आज के वक्त में हमें हमारे उस डोपामिन हिट को बहुत फीड कर दिया गया है, तो अब हमें और चाहिए. जितना मिलता है उतना ज़्यादा चाहिए, है ना? बिकॉज दैट्स हाउ एडिक्शन वर्क्स, राइट? द मोर यू कंज्यूम a substance, the more tolerance you create for the amount you're having. Now you want more. You want to increase the dosage. So distractions are going to be there. We have to very consciously learn to slow down in our lives. It's only when there will be less chatter here and the body will not constantly be like it's on a treadmill. When it will slow down, there will be room for you to introspect, for you to look within, for you to reflect what's missing, what's working, what's not working. इसी भीड़ में हम लगे हुए हैं, इसी भेड़ चाल में हम लगे हुए हैं. हम सबको वहाँ एक दूसरे को पीछे छोड़ के वहाँ आगे रेस के एंड तक पहुँचना है, हम सबको फर्स्ट आना है, और सबकी भाग दौड़ में ही हम एक पार्टनर भी चुन लेते हैं. ठीक है, आप इमेजिन कीजिए कि एक रेस ट्रैक है, दिस इज लाइफ, वन पर्सन इज रनिंग, नाउ दे गॉट लोनली running, they took the hand of another partner, now both of them are on the track, both of them are running, उनकी पूरी जिंदगी इस रेस ट्रैक पे निकल जाएगी, देखने में लगेगा दोनों साथ में रन कर रहे हैं, वाह कितनी अच्छी बात है, कितना कंपेनियनशिप है। हम रिलेशनशिप्स को लॉन्जिविटी के हिसाब से मेजर करते हैं कि इतने साल साथ में रहे, अरे 30वीं साल गिरा, अरे 40वीं साल गिरा, दोनों एक दूसरे के साथ बेड पे सो रहे हैं इतने सालों से, दोनों बच्चे हैं, रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी है, सब कुछ है। और अगर डेटिंग वर्ड की भी बात करें तो 2 साल हो गए डेट करते हुए, 4 साल हो गए डेट करते हुए, दिस इज ग्रेट, ओ माई गॉड, दिस नेवर हैपेंस बिकॉज इट्स बिकम अनहर्ड ऑफ नाउ, but you're just running parallel to each other. It does not mean connection. Just because you're living under the same roof, sharing the same bed, going out for drinks and dinners and lunches every now and then, it doesn't necessarily mean that you're connecting with each other. You're just running together now. So I think it essentially boils down to the fact that there is no slowness in life. Because there's no slowness, there is no mindfulness, there is no introspection. It's just a rat race.
सो इन अ वे हमें रुकने की ज़रूरत है। और कई बार ऐसा भी है कि हम लोग ये मानते हैं, सोचते हैं कि अभी ये पार्टनर में ये कमी थी, अभी दूसरा पार्टनर ढूंढ लेते हैं, अच्छा इसमें ये तो ठीक है लेकिन ये तो कमी रह गई, ठीक है, ऐसा कोई ढूंढना जिसमें दोनों कमियां ठीक हो जाए। तो वी आर कॉन्स्टेंटली चेजिंग समवन टू फिक्स समथिंग। कभी शायद ऐसा भी टाइम हो सकता है जैसे जिसमें आपको सोचने की ज़रूरत है कि क्या कुछ ऐसा है जिसमें मुझे फिक्स करने की ज़रूरत है, कि क्यों मेरी रिलेशनशिप्स काम नहीं कर रही हैं, एंड व्हाट इज़ दैट व्हिच आई नीड टू फिक्स फॉर माई सेल्फ, एंड शायद सब ठीक हो जाए। हाउ डू यू थिंक दैट द बिफोर looking for a connection you need to also invest something, you need to also invest yourself building a connection with yourself?
Yeah.
How do you think that is important?
Yeah. Oh, I think it's paramount. Otherwise, if you don't have a connect with yourself and you don't know what are your areas where you do carry insecurities, you carry some issues, you walk into a relationship and you're constantly confused. Like I have a lot of clients now, because by the virtue of therapy, they are thinking about themselves, right? They're in touch with themselves. One would think if you're in therapy, you're thinking about themselves, like yourself, and you're in a relationship. So you're coming back, you're reflecting, if it's me, if it's my partner. But when you've not done enough work on yourself, you sit there and you're like, I don't know, is it me or is it my partner? Like, am I who is actually being very aggressive, or my partner did something that deserved this kind of reaction? You know, now there are so many terms: narcissist, abuse, gaslighting, all of this. Like, am I who is fickle-minded and who is easy to influence? And I am not sure of my own opinions. So like, one says something and I take it, or is the other person gaslighting me? You know, am I putting my partner on a pedestal, or are they a narcissist? You know, there is so much noise because of all of this data available. So here's what we're doing. We're picking up this data, we're constantly looking at people, and we are loving putting them in categories, and basis that deciding if this is the right partner for me or not. This relationship didn't work because we have our diagnosis ready, ABC. This relationship didn't work because this person lacked this. So now I need to engineer a person who, like you said, has this also and that also, and agar ye dono cheezein mujhe is partner mein mil jaye, so this is perfect. So this has become very mechanical. Like you said, dating has become like a calculative process. You know, it's not something that's happening in flow. And that's because we don't do anything in our own life with ourselves in flow. Our life as individuals is very constructed. You know, if I will do this, I will come across like this in this group of people. You know, if I will say this, I will come across as more powerful, etc. Authenticity is just missing overall. We're not saying the truth to ourselves a lot of times. We're not telling ourselves when we know that we're essentially feeling insecure of something. That's our window of introspection. Like, let's say that you've gotten out, you've stepped out of the house, you're socializing in a group, you're with your partner, and it spikes an emotion in you. Not necessarily it has to do with the other person.
Yeah.
We say that this is a cognitive distortion. If I'm feeling this way, you must have done something. If I'm feeling not good enough, you must have done something to make me feel not good enough. Maybe it's also your partner. But there can't be smoke without fire, right? So no one can shake your sense of self if it's not already shaken up.
Yeah.
Right? Again, this is not to justify their behavior and be like, okay, if I am strong, I can be with whoever and it's going to be fine. That's also not the case. Of course, it's a little bit of both. But whenever there is an emotion that comes up for you, that's your window of introspection. Before you confront your partner or talk to them about their contribution in the conflict, stop, pause, go back to your space of introspection, look within and ask yourself, how did I contribute to this conflict? What is it that I did that is leading to this problem right here, even if it's just my problem? Sure, my partner make these remarks where I feel like, I don't feel good enough. But are there parts of me that without that already feel not good enough?
Yeah.
I don't feel good enough, so I want my partner to constantly validate me. Great, you need partners who are emotionally available, validate your emotions, don't dismiss you. But are you, even after they validated you, are you able to internalize that? Is that really changing the way you feel about yourself now?
Yeah.
Or is it just feeling good temporarily? For real, your sense of self will only shift when you will do your healing work that you need to do, the traumas perhaps that you're carrying from your past, etc. So without that, I always use this example with my clients that, let's say your partner has come in and they've praised you, or they've given you a positive feedback about something you did or you said, and they're showering you with affection. Now if let's say that बहुत सारे compliments आए, आपका हाथ भर गया, अब क्या करोगे? इसको कहीं रखना पड़ेगा ना, किसी वेसल में. अगर आपके पास वो वेसल नहीं है जिसमें पॉजिटिव इंफॉर्मेशन आपके बारे में जो आपके पार्टनर से आपको मिल रही है वो रख सकते हो आप, तो वो थोड़ी देर के लिए आप हाथ में पकड़ोगे, फिर थक जाओगे, उसको फेंकना पड़ेगा. तो वो वेसल क्या है? वो वेसल है कि क्या हमने खुद को पॉजिटिव रिगार्ड दिया है, क्या हमने खुद को अप्रिशिएट किया है, वैलिडेट किया है. जब हमने वो किया हुआ है तो उस कॉन्वर्सेशन का, मेरे बारे में उन आइडियाज़ का, पॉजिटिव आइडियाज़ का ऑलरेडी एक वेसल है, एक स्पेस है. अब मैं उन चीज़ों को रिसीव कर सकती हूँ, अब उनको रखने की मेरे पास जगह है. नाउ इट विल एड टू माई सेल्फ एस्टीम. बट इफ आई ऑलरेडी डोंट हैव दैट, खुद को तो मैं कॉन्स्टेंटली क्रिटिसाइज कर रही हूँ या कर रहा हूँ, खुद को मैं कॉन्स्टेंटली बोल रही हूँ या बोल रहा हूँ कि आई एम नॉट गुड इनफ, आई हैव नॉट डन एनीथिंग इन माई लाइफ, आई एम सच अ लूजर. But now I want you to come and tell me how absolutely amazing I am. I want you to come and tell me that no, it's fine. You will make it happen. You will do things. The bad news is that no matter how many appreciating partners you get and how much you find a partner who truly validates you, it's not going to change how you feel about yourself. Because that vessel is missing. It has to first come from within, only then you'll be able to receive it. Otherwise, I work with so many people. The problem is not just finding a toxic partner or an abusive partner. What will you do when the partner is absolutely right? The partner is giving you everything that you always wanted, and you're coming in therapy and you're saying, I don't feel attracted to her. I don't find her appealing. I find him boring. I think it's very blah. I think there is no spark, there is no excitement. Why? Because it doesn't feel familiar to you. That someone can treat you like that. It doesn't feel that you deserve it. So without knowing, very unconsciously, you tend to push it. On the surface, the narrative is, it's boring, there's no spark, it's not working. But actually what is happening underneath that is, you don't know how to receive that kind of love, because deep down, you have this viewpoint that I'm not deserving of this love. Because this is how you felt your entire life, or you were treated a certain way your entire life. So now you've ended up in a place where you're rejecting it. Now what will you do? You've blamed the partner, you found the right partner. you're still not able to take that love. So it can't always be your partner. It's always, if there is a fight between two people, it's always going to be two people together.
Yeah, two people together.
Being able to see how much of it is, or when is it my partner, when is it me, is only going to come from continuously bringing yourself in a space of self-reflection, self-introspection, where you're coming and you're capable of looking within, and you're building tolerance for looking at your own flaws.
Yeah. On other side, if you see, there are relationships, and this has been talked about much, but then films like Kabir Singh, they do really well. It also indicates that there are women also watching such movies, and there are male also watching such movies. I'm not going to talk about the impact
Yeah.
it leaves on the mind of people, but where are they coming from?
Yeah.
Where are they coming from? I mean, the viewers, where are they coming from? And the filmmakers, where are they coming from?
Yeah.
व्यूअर्स क्यों देख रहे हैं उसको?
हाँ.
और क्या जनरली ऐसा बोला जाता है, क्या आपने थेरेपी के दरमियान कपल्स के साथ इंटरेक्ट करते हो, इंडिविजुअल्स के साथ इंटरेक्ट करते हो, तो आपने देखा क्या ऐसा होता है कि लड़कियां ऐसे लड़कों के पीछे क्रेव करती हैं जो इस तरीके से बिहेव करते हैं?
या दैट्स अ वेरी गुड क्वेश्चन. देखिए, इंटेलेक्चुअली सबको पता है कि वायलेंस गलत है. इंटेलेक्चुअली हम सबको पता है कि मेरे पार्टनर को मुझ पे हाथ नहीं उठाना चाहिए रिलेशनशिप में. इंटेलेक्चुअली हमें पता है इसको डोमेस्टिक वायलेंस कहते हैं, ये गलत है एंड ऑल ऑफ दैट. बट फिजिकली हमने क्या एंड्योर किया है अपनी लाइफ में? इमोशनली हमें क्या चीज़ें फेमिलियर लगती हैं? We need to understand that we do not choose people in our life basis our needs, basis our intellectual understanding, basis what is morally correct. None of that. We do not choose people basis any of these things. We choose people based on what feels familiar.
What feels familiar?
Yes.
Oh, it's a very new phenomenon.
Yeah.
Okay.
So what feels familiar is what we will automatically go towards. हम लाइफ में सब कुछ ऐसे ही चूज करते हैं. Right? और let's look at how a relationship starts. Like I said, जब आपको एक ऐसे इंसान के साथ आपका relationship start हो रहा है, who's coming and who's treating you with a lot of positivity, who's giving you all the regard you deserve, who's respecting you. If you grew up in a very chaotic household where nobody was giving regard to anyone, where no one respects anyone, where no one comes back home and asks each other how was your day, how are you feeling, ये conversation ही कभी नहीं रहा है. तो जब उनके साथ ऐसी बातें होती हैं, that the partner is coming and asking how are you feeling, what's happening, treating them well, respecting them, they're awestruck. They're like, dude, stop being so clingy. You know, इतना चेप होने की ज़रूरत नहीं है. और this is feeling very irritating, you know. This is the sort of a narrative that comes up in therapy when clients talk about all of that. What my ears hear is, चेप होने की ज़रूरत नहीं है, this is becoming too much, you're being too clingy, you're being too desperate. But what my mind registers as a therapist is that this person is not able to accept this love and respect because they've never seen it.
Yeah.
Because it's not familiar for them. So their brain, their body, their nervous system is rejecting it. There is a phrase and a book by the same name in our field that is called Body Keeps the Score. Right?
Yeah.
आपके साथ जो भी हुआ है, आपने इमोशनली जो भी इंड्योर किया है, इमोशंस कहाँ होते हैं? दिमाग में होते हैं? नहीं. इमोशंस बॉडी में होते हैं. तो आपने बचपन से लेके बड़े होने तक जो भी एंड्योर किया है, वो सब आपकी बॉडी में स्टोर्ड है. एज एक्सपीरियंसेस, एज ट्रॉमास, जिसको हम बोलते हैं एज इमोशंस. तो जब भी आपको एक ऐसा पार्टनर मिलता है जो आके आपको क्रिटिसाइज कर रहा है, स्क्रूटिनाइज कर रहा है, ये क्या पहना है यार, इतना भी समझ नहीं आता, ये क्या बेवकूफ़ी वाली बात की है, इसमें कुछ फनी नहीं था, तुझसे कुछ नहीं हो पाएगा, तो निकम्मा ही रहेगा, तो कभी सुंदर नहीं लग सकती उतनी, कोशिश मत कर, ये सारे रिमार्क्स. तो जब ऐसे रिमार्क्स दिए जाते हैं, ब्रेन का वो वाला पार्ट एक्टिवेट हो जाता है जिसको गुस्सा आ रहा है ना. ऑब्वियसली किसी को भी गुस्सा आएगा, हमें अनहैप्पी फील होगा, हमें इरिटेटेड फील होगा, हमें ह्यूमिलिएटेड फील होगा, ऐसे कैसे बात कर रहे हैं. बट जब ब्रेन का ये हिस्सा जग रहा है, ये वो हिस्सा है जो मेरी बचपन में 10 बार जगा है. एक दिन में.
Hmm.
And this is a chemical response in my body that I am very accustomed to.
Hmm.
तो जब बार बार मेरी बॉडी में वो वाला हिस्सा, मेरे नर्वस सिस्टम में वो वाला हिस्सा एक्टिवेट होता है,
Hmm.
जिसको ह्यूमिलिएशन, सैडनेस, एंगर फील हो रहा है, दिस इज दैट सेम पार्ट दैट वाज अलाइव थ्रू आउट माई चाइल्डहुड.
Hmm.
Because my partner was everyone in my family was treating me like this.
Right.
So I'm very familiar with this. Now, what is the idea we have with our family? That family never leaves you, family loves you, whatever it is, वो जैसे हैं, अच्छे हैं, बुरे हैं, जैसे हैं, हमेशा तुम्हारे साथ रहेंगे. So our idea is that of course my family loves me, my parents loves me, but they also criticize me, they scrutinize me, they shame me, they guilt trip me.
Hmm.
Now my idea of love is that love
Doing the same. Love
is
this.
about criticizing.
Huh.
It's about scrutinizing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, because I have been familiarized with that idea of love, whenever a partner will come into my life and treat me with the same scrutiny, same sort of, embarrassing me and humiliating me, I'll be like, this is love.
Yeah.
You're my person.
Hmm.
So movies like Kabir Singh, etc. work. There are viewers who do romanticize it and who enjoy watching these movies. Or women, technically, it's a problematic narrative mostly for women because they're the victims. But are there women who enjoy this narrative and buy this? Yes, not because they don't think it's problematic or intellectually they don't get it, but because emotionally this feels familiar to them.
Yeah.
Maybe a lot of us grew up in households where parents were first beating each other, then coming united, sitting on the dining table like
And
nothing
solving.
has ever happened.
Okay.
Acting absolutely normal. Next moment so lovey dovey, like हमारे जैसा प्यार भरा रिश्ता तो किसी में है ही नहीं, हम जैसी हैप्पी फैमिली तो पूरी दुनिया में कहीं नहीं है. So what is the child seeing and observing and taking from this? That love and violence can coexist.
Coexist. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So as much as we fight it intellectually, emotionally, in our body, in our nervous system, it feels familiar to us, and we only move towards things that feel familiar.
This reminds me of a conversation I was having with a policeman, and he was saying कि किसी ग्रीवेंस केस को लेके हम लोग बात कर रहे थे. उसका ये कहना था कि सर जी आप तो अभी बोल दोगे कि केस रजिस्टर करो, ऐसा करो, वैसा करो, एंड जेन्युइनली इसमें जस्टिस दिलाने की जरूरत है लड़की को, लेकिन लड़की मुकर जाएगी. वो बोलेगी कि अरे मेरे घर का मैटर है, वो मारता है, मुझे मारता है, प्यार भी तो करता है, तो हम देख लेंगे. कर दी होगी पड़ोसी वालों ने कंप्लेन, पड़ोसियों ने फ़ोन कर दिया आपको, कोई दिक्कत नहीं है, वो हम देख लेंगे, इट्स आवर इंटरनल मैटर. दे डोंट वांट टू इवन टॉक टू द काउंसलर. आई मीन पुलिस डिपार्टमेंट के साथ भी काउंसलर्स काम करते हैं, उनके स्किल्स के ऊपर क्वेश्चन उठाया जा सकता है, उनकी ट्रेनिंग के ऊपर काम करने की ज़रूरत हो सकती है, लेकिन कंप्लेन ना रजिस्टर कराने के बावजूद भी इंटरवेंशंस हैं जो दिए जा सकते थे. द फीमेल्स आर नॉट रेडी. Some females are not ready to, and that completely goes with what you are saying.
And there is another angle to that,
Okay.
since you brought that up. There is the angle of cultural shame attached to it. आप अपने पति को नहीं छोड़ सकते.
Yeah.
Right? Especially in a certain strata of our society, this is not an option.
Yeah.
You can't do that. Not to mention, you do not get the same respect in the society as a woman if you are not with a man anymore. You are scared of the consequence. If I raise my voice against him, abhi to police hai, sab kuch hai, baad mein kya hoga? So if your experiences have also been of not living a life where you have not felt empowered as a woman, where you've not been able to practice your power, where you've not gotten in touch with your anger from a safe standpoint, that I have the right to be angry, that I have the right to be treated fairly, you will continue to put up with that because you have an internalized idea that ये मेरी जगह है, मुझे ऐसे ट्रीट किया जाएगा, पर मेरी जो जगह है उस जगह को मैंने बना कर रखना है. एक औरत की जिम्मेदारी होती है घर को की मर्यादा को और उसके शांतिपूर्वक एनवायरनमेंट को बनाए रखना, और इसकी रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी मेरे कंधों पर है.
So सपोज एक रिलेशनशिप काम नहीं कर रही है, वो मैरिज रिलेशनशिप, वो मैरिज हो सकती है, वो एक रिलेशनशिप हो सकती है, एंड सपोज टू पार्टनर्स आर डिसाइडिंग टू take divorce or break apart.
Hmm.
Do you think that is also a thing which where we need to work upon, or maybe a therapist can give support?
Absolutely. A lot of times, couples come seek therapy together. Sometimes, the best thing for that couple is to find a way to make things work, to resolve their conflict, and to continue living in a happy relationship, happy marriage. Sometimes the best thing for them is they will work through therapy and they will understand that they were never compatible for each other, that they both had a different outlook towards life, that their goals don't match, their values don't match, and the best thing for them to do is to part ways. So, not always the end goal of intervention or therapy is the same. It's
Yeah.
different for different people, it's different for different couples, and you don't walk into helping a couple with that bias that I have to make their marriage work.
Yeah.
You walk into it with helping both of them understand their authenticity, and then come together in a way where they're able to relate to each other from a place of safety.
Yeah.
After that, they're actually able to unfold either how much potential their relationships always have had and now they start working towards that, or
Okay.
that they were never meant to be together.
Okay. Okay. Right. So, to brief it up, can you mention areas? Suppose एक व्यक्ति है जो उसने dating शुरू किया है या looking to date someone. Can you specify किन किन areas में compatibility को gauge करना जरूरी है? How do I understand that I'm a compatible person, and how do I give importance to compatibility over chemistry, and how do I understand the difference between the two?
केमिस्ट्री और कंपैटिबिलिटी दो बिल्कुल अलग चीज़ें हैं. सबसे पहले इस बात को एक्सेप्ट करना बहुत ज़रूरी है. Just because you have a good spark with someone, just because you have a good chemistry with someone, doesn't mean that you will also have a good compatibility with them. Was that the word you were
Yeah.
looking for? Chemistry is something that is about the spark of two bodies. It is about the passion between two people. It is about the sexual tension between the two people. And you'll be surprised, but when we understand and study chemistry, so much of it goes back to the trauma of two individual partners.
Oh,
Yeah.
is it?
If there is familiarity between two people, if this person is looking exactly like the kind of women I have grown up with, or the kind of men I've grown up with, like around me, if they carry a similar energy towards me, which is, again, it could be of unavailability, etc., there is that kind of a spark. Let me expand on that. It's actually about the hormones, and it's about that dopamine hit. So let's say that you grew up in an environment where you had complete neglect. Parents were completely emotionally unavailable. They would go days without knowing what's happening with you in your life, and then they would suddenly appear and shower you with attention and just give you lots of stuff. Maybe because of their guilt, could be anything. And you love it, you enjoy it, and now you're sitting there enjoying it, craving for more of it. Then again, they go back to their pattern of unavailability. Now, this kind of an unpredictability, if you have been exposed to it, you will automatically feel drawn towards unpredictable partners. Now, here's what happens.
Yeah.
One partner who truly wants the other partner, and this partner is always sort of going away. In our language, we call them the anxious partner, the avoidant partner, the partner who is anxious about losing them, the avoidant partner who is anxious about getting too preoccupied by another person. They prioritize connection, they prioritize their alone space. Their fear is I will lose this person, their fear is I will lose myself. Right? So anxious, avoidant. When these two people come together, this person is constantly moving and trying to chase this person, and this person is always trying to put one leg out of the relationship. Now, here's what happens in a dynamic of these two people. The avoidant comes and goes, comes and goes. Fundamentally, both of them are humans and both of them want intimacy and connection, just like all humans do. So, whenever one craves for it, they come back and they give lots of attention and then they go away, right? This is the pattern on their end. Here's what happens with this person. This person is experiencing in their physiology a dopamine hit when the partner is coming and love bombing them or giving them all of the affection. And then they're disappearing. They're going back into their shell. They're like, baat nahi karni hai, ye wo. Please don't call me too many times. I'm busy. Can't be available for you every day. It's sort of a narrative. What's happening in this person's physiology? A lot of cortisol releasing, stress hormone, a lot of like longing for this person, waiting for this person, extremely sad they're feeling, low they're feeling. Now they're waiting for the next dopamine hit. अब इतनी देर उस इंसान की वेट करते 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 जब वो इंसान सडनली वापस आता है, you forget all of your sadness, all of your worry, all of your tension. You open your arms and you're ready to welcome that person back, that now they're back, now they will not leave me. And after longing for someone for so long, when you finally get them, the hit is something else. And I use the word hit because that is exactly what it feels like. The biochemistry of this is very similar to the biochemistry of someone who's on some sort of a drug. You know, there's withdrawal, like if you're away from the drug, you're craving for it. When you finally get it, you will feel pain, very physical pain, right? And you would not think of anything else, you will not focus on anything else, you just want your drug. The moment you get that drug, euphoria, physical euphoria in the body, you're at peace. It's like, that's it, that's all I ever wanted. Now this meeting together is chemistry. This meeting together is spark.
So this has nothing to do with the compatibility.
It has nothing to do with compatibility. And this is what we call trauma bonding.
Trauma bonding.
Yeah. So what you're calling chemistry and spark and you know, we just have this fire between us, it's actually trauma bonding.
Oh my God.
Yeah. The truth is that when you're in a healthy relationship, when you're in a relationship which is not bases any trauma, where both the people are coming from a self-assured place, there will be no spark, no fire. In fact, those relationships can be described as boring. Yeah, because there is monotony. Because there is stability. Because from the beginning to the end, there is predictable behavior.
Right.
That person is predictable. And these are the terms which are looked down upon. But that's what we want to look for in our life.
Oh my God.
We want stability, we want peace, we want predictability. Now we all want it. We all say that we want it, we wish for it. But when it happens to us, because we've grown up in such chaotic households, we find it so, again, unfamiliar, that we can't withstand it. We're like, ये बहुत डल लग रहा है, ये बहुत बोरिंग लग रहा है, ये नहीं चलेगा यार, ये हटाओ, मुझे स्पार्क चाहिए, कुछ अलाइव हो, कुछ करे वो स्पेशल, कुछ फूल लेकर आए, कुछ कुछ ड्रामा हो, कुछ हो ही नहीं रहा है, एकदम प्लेन चल रहा है. My clients literally say this in therapy sessions, like these are the words, कुछ ड्रामा नहीं, कुछ स्पार्क नहीं, ऐसा लग रहा है लाइफ बोरिंग हो गई है, मुझे 40 साल का बुढ़ा जैसा फील हो रहा है. The truth is that where there is true compatibility, where there is true connection, there will not be that spark. And I'm not talking about passion. That passion is different. But passion, true passion, like true sexual intimacy and that kind of a compatibility builds over a period of time. It comes from a place of safety. It comes from a place of feeling so secure with that person that you can explore all of your kinks with them. You can explore all of your magic with them. You can explore all the sexual chemistry with them. So in no way am I saying that healthy relationships, people are not sexually compatible with each other.
Right.
But where you're coming from, that shifts. And the stability of the relationship is completely different in both of the places.
I heard of this acronym where it was coming out to be that the compatibility can be figured out through this acronym called RISES, where R is recreational intimacy, I is intellectual intimacy, S is spiritual intimacy, E is emotional intimacy, and E is emotional intimacy, and S is sexual intimacy. So that's how the horizon of compatibility has been defined. Do you agree
Yeah.
with that?
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's so important to identify who are you experiencing what kind of an intimacy with. And I want to mention that this RICE's acronym, it's not that intimacy happens in this order.
Of
It's
course.
not in
Of
that
course not.
order,
Yeah.
right? It's just about defining these are multiple kinds of intimacies.
Yeah.
So just because I'm like, let's say I found someone on the dating app and intellectually I'm feeling like, oh my God, we have the same worldview, we have the same political view. You know, we are able to look at the world from that complex lens. We're intellectually so compatible. We're both able to use fancy terms and use the right English and all of that. And sure, I get it. It can be attractive and all of that. But oftentimes we start confusing that with emotional intimacy.
Yeah.
Just because someone is able to talk about being emotionally available and actually being emotionally available, there are two completely different things. Someone who is actually emotionally available may not be able to talk about it or term it as emotional availability.
Or may not be having even understanding of
that this is
the
what
concept.
I'm doing. They simply are like that. So a lot of us, and I particularly picked up intellectual intimacy because we live in a world where we're
that is being given more important.
We, in the hierarchy of what is important for us, that is at the top. You know, we have become a very intellectual society. We all are connecting over हम पत्ते पे पत्ता खेलते हैं कि मैंने अपनी जेब से ये इंटेलेक्चुअल बात निकाली, अच्छा अब मैं तुझसे और बड़ी बात निकालता हूँ, अरे तुझे क्या पता है, मुझे और पता है. You know, बड़े बड़े नाम लेंगे हम, ये सारी बातें बताएंगे, हम बोलेंगे we'll come back either feeling very intimidated by that person or very impressed by that person, and we're like, that's it. Because there is also this sense that this person will look smart in the society.
तो अंबानी तो मैं अडानी.
Yeah. You know that जब हम लोग साथ में खड़े होंगे, that whole notion of power couple, you know, हम लोगों के पास बात होगी करने को, तो a lot of us are looking at people from the place of how is their packaging. You know, दिखने में कैसे हैं, जो आप स्टार्टिंग में बात कर रहे थे, गाड़ी कितना है, पैसा कितना है, दिखने में कैसे हैं, बात कितनी अच्छी करते हैं. And all of the connection is getting lost in this packaging. Like, we've never opened the package and saw what's actually underneath, like the real product inside. वहाँ तक हम पहुँचे ही नहीं है. और ये कैपिटलिस्ट दुनिया ऐसी है ना कि वो सेम प्रोडक्ट 4 तरीके से बिक रहा है, वो चाहे अंदर से एक्सपायरी हो गया हो पर उसकी पैकेजिंग बहुत फैंसी होगी. तो वो कैपिटलिज्म डेटिंग वर्ल्ड में भी ट्रांसलेट हो चुका है, जहाँ हम लोग हमारी डेटिंग ऐप को लोग शूट करके अपना प्रोफाइल बना रहे हैं, है ना, बढ़िया शूट करवा के अपना फोटोज डाल रहे हैं और ये सब इस पे फोकस कर रहे हैं. हम हमारे बायो जो लिखते हैं डेटिंग ऐप में, उसको कैसे और विटी बना सकते हैं उसके बारे में सोच रहे हैं. हम ये नहीं सोच रहे दैट हाउ डू आई वर्क ऑन माई सेल्फ सच दैट I am also able to be an emotionally available partner instead of just looking for one.
Wow.
We never stop and ask ourselves, am I the partner that I want to find for myself? Am I capable of bringing to the same level of commitment to the table that I hope to get?
And it reminds me of this quote of Mahatma Gandhi, be the light, be the change you want to see in the world.
Absolutely.
Wow. Great. It was great having you, Praneet, and lovely conversation. I would want you to come to my podcast more often, and we'll have more topics like this. And I believe that such conversations are missing in our current system. And हमारे हॉरिजॉन्स अलग हैं, हमारी सोसाइटी अलग है, हमारी कॉन्वर्सेशंस हमारी होंगी. हम दूसरे किसी देश में बैठे किसी थेरेपिस्ट की बात सुन के या पॉडकास्टर की बात सुन के शायद उतना रिलेट ना कर पाएँ, और कर भी पाएँ तो हमारे चैलेंजेस को वो नहीं समझते, शायद उस बारे में वो बात ना कर पाएँ. तो इट वॉज ग्रेट हैविंग यू, एंड आई लव द एनर्जी यू ब्रॉट, द काइंड ऑफ कॉन्वर्सेशन you initiated, and thank you very much. I would want you to also speak to my viewers so that you mention your Insta handle or whichever handle you want our subscribers, viewers to reach out to. How can they reach out to you? And I would also request you to request your viewers that they subscribe my channel.
Absolutely. Thank you everyone for being here. My name is Praneet Kaur. I'm a trauma-informed therapist and a relationship expert. You can find me on Instagram, on YouTube, or I also have a website. All go by the same name of my company, which is Pour the Heart Out. If you have more, you want to join more conversations around relationships, and I also do a lot of work around sexual abuse recovery. You can find me on Instagram primarily by Pour the Heart Out. And I had a great time having this conversation with Shaleen. I think very rarely it happens so that there is a lot of sync in the conversation that you're having. That conversation is just really flowing. So I encourage all of you to follow Shaleen. Your channel is
Candid with Shaleen.
Candid with Shaleen. Follow him for more such enticing conversations. He's always bringing together some great guests online. So yeah, we hope to see you together more.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you.
थैंक यू. एंड भैया बहुत लोग देख रहे हो लेकिन सब्सक्राइब नहीं कर रहे हो, पैसा नहीं लगता है इसका. सब्सक्राइब करो, नोटिफिकेशंस भी ऑन रखो ताकि इस तरह के कंटेंट को देखते रहो और फैलाओ ज़रूर. बहुत से आपके दोस्त होंगे जो रिलेशनशिप्स में शायद फंसे हुए होंगे या समझने की कोशिश कर रहे होंगे या शायद जानते ही नहीं कि रिलेशनशिप्स के ऊपर काम कैसे करना है. ये पूरा एपिसोड उनको शेयर करो व्हाट्सएप पे, ट्विटर पे जो कि अब एक्स है, इंस्टा पे, जहाँ भी आपकी रीच है, जहाँ भी आपके फ्रेंड्स हैं, उनको ज़रूर मैसेज करिए, डीएम करिए और ज़रूर बताइए कि रिलेशनशिप फॉर्म करना कितना इंपॉर्टेंट होता है. आज हमने रोमांटिक रिलेशनशिप्स पे बात की. इसी तरीके की और कॉन्वर्सेशंस मैं करता रहूँगा. उम्मीद है आपको पसंद आई होगी. अपने कमेंट्स ज़रूर बताइए. बहुत मुमकिन है कि मैं और प्रणीत एक इंस्टा लाइव करें जिसमें आपके क्वेश्चंस को, यदि आप कमेंट में क्वेश्चंस लिखते हैं तो उन क्वेश्चंस को हम लेकर एक छोटा सा इंस्टा लाइव ज़रूर कर सकते हैं. तो ज़रूर कमेंट करिए, क्वेश्चंस पूछिए और मैं चाहूँगा कि प्रणीत उनका आंसर भी दें इंस्टा लाइव के थ्रू. थैंक यू सो मच फॉर वॉचिंग दिस टिल एंड. यस, सब्सक्राइब करना ना भूलिए. थैंक यू सो मच प्रणीत.